Welcome to Wanna Bet, the daily gambling game show that takes betting seriously, but not much else. Get our favorite plays on the totals, sides, props, exotics, and futures to jump on now.
So let's get it started with Jason and Ben. Let's get it started with Jason and Ben. Let's get it started with Jason and Ben. Så att du kan synka dig konsolata konsolferino. Let's get it started with Jason and Ben. Let's get it started with Jason and Ben.
Yo, what's going on, everybody? Happy week, what is this, week 14, Sunday to everyone and all who celebrate. I am Jason. That is Beltway Ben Hall. Beltway Ben Hall is continuing to cash for you guys. I am continuing to slump. It is what it is. Minnesota, 40 points basically at the half last night. At home against the Clippers. Clippers on back-to-back nights. That pretty much sums things up for me these days. Just keep grinding, man. It's all you can do, Beltway Ben. Keep grinding, keep trying, change some things up, alter some strategies, see what you can do. Thank God Beltway Ben is the brains of this operation. Before we get to today's bets, and we've got plenty for you, and what's obviously an NFL-centric show. First, second, third down, three favorite plays we've made since yesterday's show. Fourth down could be fourth and long or fourth and short. Ways to get you guys paid quickly in games, fourth and short. Ways to get you paid bigger money over the long haul, like futures or long shots that could get you paid quickly. Over time, we've got parlays for you. Not 8, 10, 5, 12-leg parlays, but parlays that, we did the math on and feel like have a decent shot to return. And we show our work around here. We are fully transparent. It's as bad as anybody's been on this show. Down almost 12 and a half units. Butler couldn't get much done for me yesterday. Soccer, we were on the Newcastle situation, but did not get a goal out of Voldemata. But obviously, they covered the team total like we thought that we would. They won the match like we thought they would. Same thing with a lot of what going on in the Man City match, but did not get Holland to come through for us. Leverkusen got destroyed by Augsburg. So there's that. But Beltway Ben, you continue to smash it, brother.
Yeah, we finished up just under 2 units. We cashed. We split. We went Jalen Johnson over 19.5 rebounds, assists. That cashed, but we did lose the Michigan State money line play. Teams winning for the majority of the first 36 minutes of the game, dominating, playing good basketball, and all of a sudden, down the stretch, the road team in East Lansing outplays and outcoaches an Izzo-led squad. I was pretty shocked there. Western Michigan cashed for us. We lost Virginia and Duke. We lost our passing yards. 259.5. Morris just didn't play well. We lost Alabama's receiving yards, but we did cash a plus 200 parlay. We cashed our fourth and short, which we had Virginia basketball, three-way money line in the first half. Michigan State plus 8.5 alternate. They won the first half outright. And then we also had 150 plus yards in general from Texas Tech. So it was a solid day. We finished up just under 2 units, and we're almost back over 50 over time.
Excellent. Thank you for your work, Beltway Ben Hall, and for keeping us afloat. We've done this almost 7 days a week since May 21st. So a lot of volume. We're covering a lot of different markets, and we're not giving you minus 185, over 1.5 field goals. Like, we're trying to do better and work harder than that to get your real return. But as always, it's gambling. It's risky business. First down for me. I really don't love a lot in this Steelers-Ravens game. It's one I'll be paying close attention to because I host a 4-hour sports talk show in Baltimore. But I do like Gainwell to do some damage here. He's been seeing more of the ball in the passing game. Aaron Rodgers is top 3 in the NFL in the percentage of passes that go to running backs. Basically, 1 of every 3 balls that comes out of his hands go to a running back. And lately, it's been Gainwell. And the Ravens have sucked defending running backs in the passing game, going back for years. Even when Mike McDonald had this defense setting a triple crown, most sacks, most takeaways, and fewest points allowed, they were vulnerable in the screen game. So I like Gainwell to go over 17.5 at minus 115. I'm just going to tell you, BetMGM has that number. Everybody else is higher than 17.5. You can find 17.5 minus 115 at BetMGM. And I also like him to go over Gainwell over 25 or more receiving yards. That's plus 150, and that's at FanDuel. Okay, why do I like it so much besides just all the volume that's going to running backs? Well, I'm sorry, I said 1 of every 3. It's 23% of his passes to running backs. Lately, it's skewed towards 33%. On the season, it's 23% from Rodgers. He's top 3 among all current starting quarterbacks in that. So we've had Gainwell catch 3 targets on 3 balls on 3 targets for 25, 6 of 6 for 30, 7 of 8 for 81, 2 of 3 for 4. That's cause for concern. 4 of 5 for 35. He's been doing the job lately. The Ravens against running backs. They've allowed 469 passing yards to running backs this season. That's 26th in the NFL. Completion percentage north of 75% throwing to running backs. We love Chase Brown on Thursday night. He hit the alt totals again, right? 7 on 7 for 35. Hall went for 75. Achane went for 39. Aaron Jones wasn't on the field that much. He went for 22. Swift was hurt most of the game. He went for 26. Kyron Williams, 37. Gibbs, 32. Cook, 57. The kid Smith with Kansas City, 27, and he was barely on the field. I expect Rodgers to be chucking into him quite a bit. It wouldn't shock me if Warren and Gainwell go over their regular totals here in receiving yards and each have 20 or more, 25 or more, maybe 30 or more receiving yards. I think there'll be a bit of a funnel there. I also like Darnell Washington, long reception. I'm not giving it out here as an official play, but I think he has a reception of 14 yards or more in that game. A lot of yak, carrying some smaller defensive backs with him. First down for you, Beltway, Ben?
Yeah, first down here, we're going to play 2 different things in this Commanders-Vikings game. The more I look into it, I just think it's going to be a very run-heavy game. So we'll start with a player prop that we're going with. And I'm going to go with Aaron Jones over 45.5 rushing yards at minus 112. Since returning from the injury, his first game he only had 5 carries. It was odd. But he went over that in 3 straight after returning. And then now since in 2 straight he's under. But that was against Green Bay and Seattle, who are 2 of the top run defenses in the NFL. They were able to make this team one-dimensional, as a lot of teams have. I don't think the Commanders are built like that. This guy's a speed back. He's looked better as the year has gone on, as he's gotten more and more healthy. J.J. McCarthy has returned. He sucks. I get that. But, he's going to have to hand the football off. That plays into what we want here. They know what they paid in Aaron Jones. You bring him back. And the Washington defense, 56.2% success rate versus the run since week 7. That is the 6th worst in the NFL. They're bottom 10 in EPA against the run. I just think with Jordan Mason, he always scares you a little bit, this backfield, but Jordan Mason isn't getting a lot of touches. And Aaron Jones, they took him off the injury report. I know he was limited all week, but clearly they're going to be giving him a full go. And if that's the case, he should be getting a lot of touches in the run game. Keep things out of McCarthy's hands, because when he takes the ball and is throwing it all across the field, you never have success. I also don't think Washington is going to run the score up on them and beat them by 2 scores. Now, Jaden Daniels back. Washington's in a good spot, but is this a blowout to the point where they can't run the football? I don't see that being the case. As long as he stays healthy in this game, I think he goes over the 45.5 rushing yards. Now, the other play, the team rushing yards here, the Commanders versus Vikings, over 252.5 rushing yards at minus 120. I just gave you the stats on Washington's runs defense. Here's Minnesota's 57.1% success rate since week 7. That's the 8th worst. Not much better than what Washington's doing. The Commanders are bringing back Jaden Daniels. That opens up a lot of different things in the run game for that team. Both him using his legs and other running backs having it easier because defenses are zoned in on not letting Daniels beat them with his legs. And I get he was hurt and they might not want him taking a lot of hits and all of those things. He's still going to run. This is a guy that since LSU hasn't been willing to slide. He's always trying to make plays with his legs. And that's been a thing we talk about with Jackson Dart a lot. Jaden Daniels last year, people were talking about it regularly. Do I think he'll be a little bit smarter? Yes, but he's still going to try to get some rushing yards when he can. I think there's going to be a lot of runs for that offense, and their backfield's a question mark to me. I was trying to figure out what running back I wanted to play there. And ultimately, I just think it could be Bill, it could be Rodriguez, and it also could be Daniels. And I already like Minnesota's rushing ability. J.J. McCarthy can give you a little bit with his legs. So I combine both of them, and we'll play over 252.5 rushing yards and minus 120.
Nice. Second down for me. Let's get Myles Garrett to have 2 sacks in this game. It's just interesting how these markets work. So I played this yesterday at FanDuel, and at DraftKings, you could get plus 128 on 2 sacks. I'm doing my show for BetMGM Network. I'm updating these numbers for this show. It's minus 120 right now on DraftKings for 2 sacks for Garrett. So obviously, a lot of people want it. It went from plus 128 to minus 20 at DraftKings. If you go to FanDuel, you can play over 1.75 sacks, which means obviously if he's got a sack and a half, we don't hit this. So he needs the equivalent of 2 sacks at plus 125. So it's almost what the plus 128 was yesterday on 2 sacks. Why do I like it? Well, Cam Ward's been sacked 48 times. He holds the ball too long, a lot like Shedeur Sanders, who he'll be facing for the Browns. It's a crap O-line, and the Browns' defense is way more venomous and attack-minded at home than on the road. Their home-road splits as a defense are actually kind of appalling going back to last year. But this one's at home. And I'm old enough to remember Lamar Jackson coming in there a few weeks back. Garrett had a hat trick in the first half. He had 3 in the first half, 4 in the game. This offensive line is probably worse than Baltimore's, which is saying something. The quarterback definitely has timing issues. And Garrett's on a heater. 14 sacks his last 5 games, 19 on the season. Everybody in that franchise wants him to get this record and shatter Strahan's record and do it as soon as possible. So I think he gets to Ward a couple of times in this game. He'll move around. Jim Schwartz, the coordinator, will let him hunt for matchups. And we think it wouldn't shock us if he gets 3 sacks in this game.
I'm going to go here with just a team total prop. And it's like team totals I play more than sides, I'd say, through the show. But not a lot of times. So here we're playing this just because I really like it, especially in the NFL. I'll play a lot of college team totals, but NFL I've stayed away from a lot because I don't know. They're just a little risky for me. But here, this is a very risky one as we have a Bears team that has cleared this in 12 of 13 games. They've been going over a lot. You have an offensive-minded head coach calling plays. He's very smart. All that being said, you're going to Lambeau Field against the Packers defense as good as they've been. And it's a pretty angry Packers team who right now they're sitting behind you in the division. There's a lot of talk about how good you guys have been, how Ben Johnson has turned the offense around, and they're the best team in the division. I think the Packers defense is going to come out angry and ready to go. This is one of the most physical defenses that the Bears will face all season. And when you look at the matchup and the weather and all those things, like I think they're going to make Caleb Williams one-dimensional. And I like Caleb Williams a lot. I've talked well about him. But I think him throwing the football 30-plus times a game is not a recipe for success at Lambeau in the cold, taking hits. And I do think he'll turn one over today. An interception is plus 136. I can give that out as an official play. Now, Green Bay's only got 6 picks on the year. They're not doing it enough.
Had a ton last year.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. And also it's starting to get colder. They're playing more games at home now down the stretch. And Caleb Williams, he's thrown 5. We saw him throw a lot last season. And if they make him one-dimensional, as I expect, there's going to be some tip passes, and Green Bay will have a lot of opportunities. I think they cover the spread as well as 6.5. Not giving that out as an official play. We're just going to give out the Bears team total under 18.5 at minus 110, and we'll give out Caleb Williams to throw the interception. I think both of those go together. I don't know that Ben Johnson is going to be able to figure this Packers defense out as he has some other places and some other areas. And one thing with Ben Johnson, as great as he is, as great of a mind as he is, when things start going wrong and he starts trying to get too cute, it always backfires. And we saw it a lot in Detroit. This year, they're having a lot of success. Some of that last week, though, was Philly falling on their face, fumbling a tush push and doing some different things. I think Chicago ends a great run here. I think they still get in the playoffs, of course. They're going to get as a wild card, but I think Green Bay wins this division, and it starts today.
I'm with you. I'm not on that game a lot because if you watch this show regularly, you know that we are highly leveraged on Green Bay in the futures markets already. So I'm looking at my money line today is already baked into my number for Green Bay to win the division, for Green Bay to go to the Super Bowl. I also find this interesting, Ben. Jordan Love is number 3 in the MVP. Like, I don't think he's got any shot of winning an MVP. I would love it. I would love it because I'm on it. But it's May, Stafford, and Love. That's how it's priced right now in the futures markets for MVP. I'd love to see it come around to Love. I don't think it's got any chance in hell.
No, I agree. But maybe a run to the playoffs, to the 1 seed, something like that could get him in.
I could see him passing May. I don't see how he passes Stafford with the numbers, but
if they lose some games they shouldn't, like Carolina, you never know.
Maybe. Be interesting. We also need the Rams to win that division, though. So, all right. Speaking of the Rams, third down, we're going to go to the alt markets and play the Rams Cardinals over 50.5. Have I played this over 52.5 also? I have. Over 50.5, the best you're going to find is plus 122 now, plus 130 yesterday. But again, I'm giving out too many picks on this game and this show to begin with, so I'm not going to go crazy. Why do I like the over? Well, the Rams are the most prolific offense any given week in the league, and nobody's thrown for more yards than Jacoby Brissett since Jacoby Brissett took over as the starting quarterback for the Cardinals. He's also averaged over 2 passing touchdowns per game, and I think he will get that today. I think the Rams, after playing with their food a little bit last week, and the ball that hits off a helmet that gets picked off in the end zone that cost us money, and the pick six, and the strip sack fumble, I think this is Sean McVay saying, let's score 40 today if we can. It's an Arizona defense that's fallen off a cliff since they started the year kind of hot. Arizona's allowed 3 or more passing touchdowns in 2 straight home games. I think Stafford goes off. And the Rams defense is starting to regress a little bit. They're starting to succumb to some mistakes, and they are super young. And you had Carolina hang 31 on them. You had Seattle roll up over 400 yards, but Darnold throws the 4 picks. Is Jacoby throwing 4 picks at home today? I don't think so. You look at San Francisco, not a prolific offense. They scored 26 on the Rams. I'm looking in the division, right? 26 with Mac Jones and 26 with a banged-up Purdy. Arizona's 6-2 to the over their last 8 games. It's obviously in a dome. And look, this is kind of a must-win game for the Rams. Like, they've done all this to get to this point. They're going to give it up to Seattle after kicking their ass? No. So I think this game, look, I think Arizona could score 24 points in this game, and I think the Rams are going over 30. So over 50.5 plus 122. You want to go over 52.5? Now we're in the plus 150 plus money.
Yeah, I'm going to go to this Buffalo-Cincinnati game. And it makes me laugh because it's very consistent what I do on here. Every week we find a tight end against the Bengals and we attack them.
Yep.
Attack them a bunch of different ways, and it's played to our advantage. Like, it's been an area that we've had success in, and I don't know when it's going to stop. Even when the Bengals defense has somewhat looked like they've turned it around and kind of figured it out, the tight end position has still been able to beat them, and I don't know that it'll change as the year goes on. He comes into this game banged up. For the listeners, we're going Dalton Kincaid over 34.5 receiving yards at minus 112. Comes in banged up. The report's going to be out in 5 minutes. Not fully sure that he's 100% going to play. I'm confident he does. If he doesn't, we get our money back and it's a void.
Right.
But we're doing the show now, so I'm just going to have to give him out here. The Bengals are allowing 121 receiving yards to tight ends over their last 6 games. Now, this is a tight end who's cleared this in 5 of 8 games he's played. We've talked about the wide receiver position in Buffalo time and time again on this show. Khalil Shakir's a thing, but he's a slot receiver and does some other stuff. But they've went out and added multiple guys to their practice squad. They try to bring in Brandon Cooks. You get Gabe Davis back and are trying to make him work. And I like Gabe Davis a lot for that offense. But let's be honest, Dalton Kincaid is more of a go-to target for Josh Allen in these spots.
Yes.
The Bengals are going to be able to run it up. I don't think the Bills' defense is very good. I would expect to see Cincinnati give some issues and throw the football against Buffalo. And if that's the case, Josh Allen's going to have to play some hero ball. He might be playing from behind at some point, throwing the football. And in the games where we've seen him throw it a lot, he's had success going to Kincaid. Now, I do know and will acknowledge the Bengals' run defense is awful. I get all that. We might see a lot of James Cook and all those good things. But in the downs where we see Josh Allen throw the football, Kincaid will be on the field. And we've seen him beat guys with just 1 catch at this number.
Yeah.
I think it's a low number because of is he 100%? He's already missed 3 games. I don't know that they're rushing him back at 80% this week if they've already sat him out of 3 games, especially when The playoffs are coming up, and they're like on the fence. They're probably going to get in, but like the division race is still a thing. There's a lot going on there. So I don't know that they're rushing him back at 75% after sitting him for 3 straight. So I think he'll be good. I think he'll play as many snaps as he needs to get over this number. I think he has 3 catches and clears this total here.
You said you don't know when that prop is going to end, when you're no longer going to auto play tight ends against Cincinnati. We do know when the wash is done in my house because did you hear it? Did you hear it, Ben?
Yeah, I heard it. Right at the end, yeah.
You know. Your play, again, kind of segues me into where I'm going on 4th and long. Let's stay in that Bills-Bengals game. And look, the Bengals are live for me. The Bengals have won 8 straight games that Joe Burrow started. Joe Burrow was rusty against a team that's tended to beat him recently, even though he's gone nuts. The Bengals defense stepped up on a Thursday night, Thanksgiving night in Baltimore. Joe Burrow won again. And now Joe Burrow's got some extra rest to face Buffalo, a team that he's owned. Joe Burrow, 14-3 against the spread as a dog of 3 points or more. I think the Bengals are live to win this game. I think the defense has trended up a little bit. And if they can keep from getting absolutely gashed by James Cook, I think Josh Allen's pressing a little bit. He's playing too much hero ball. I think he throws a pick in this game. I think the Bengals are a tough out right now because they're playing with house money, and they get Higgins back. And I don't think that Bills defense is special. And the Bills have some offensive line issues. So I could mess around in those markets, right? And try to get the plus 225 on the Bengals. And I could roll Bengals money line week after week after week from here on out. And I probably will. In fact, I'm already on Bengals plus 130 to beat Baltimore next week. And then it's Arizona, and then it's Cleveland. It's Arizona, Cleveland. It's all garbage teams. I can't remember the third team. Right
Miami. Miami, right?
Miami. Thank you, Beltway Ben. Thank you, Beltway Ben. So let's just do what I did. Put a unit on Cincinnati to make the playoffs, plus 850. I think they're hanging 40 points on Baltimore and Cincinnati unless there's a bunch of injuries in this game, and that's always the risk in betting in general, early, and betting in this sport in particular. But I don't think the Ravens can win a shootout at Cincinnati with the Bengals, and I think that's going to be a shootout. And then could they slip up and mess around and lose to somebody else that they should beat? Absolutely, they're the Bengals. But if the Ravens and Steelers split and they play twice, go look at the AFC standings in terms of conference record, division record. If Cincinnati loses to, say, Arizona in a shootout, there's still a chance that even by losing one more game, they could still win this division. Now, they got to win today. They got to beat Baltimore. But then their division record might carry them. And Pittsburgh might fall off a cliff, except split one of the games with Baltimore. So I just think there's too much value here. They've won 8 straight with Burrow. They're averaging over 30 points a game during that 8 straight with Burrow. I think the defense is marginally, fractionally not as horrible. And they're playing with house money, and there's great belief that when this guy steps on the field, we can beat anybody anywhere. So that's my 4th and long.
I'm going to a guy that we've already given out on the show in one way, and we're going to play his longest rush here. We're going Aaron Jones, his longest rush over 12.5 yards, which you can find at minus 110 if you shop around. I mean, he was over this in 4 of his last 5, and most of those games were the games that he went over his rushing yard prop. So if he's going to go over the regular rushing that I expect him to, and if he is off the injury report, I know he was limited. He's dealing with a shoulder injury. But they did leave him off the injury report, which means a little bit of something to me heading into the game. It means he was clearly 100% on Saturday ready to go, or at least told them he was, meaning he'll want the football. And Jordan Mason isn't a guy that when they're both active should be stealing carries from him. He'll have a few here and there, as all RB2s do. But Aaron Jones is a guy that you paid some money to make plays, especially in these types of games. Listen, they've lost a bunch of games in a row. They're not playing good football. J.J. McCarthy sucks. We all know that. Yeah. But to that point, Aaron Jones is going to have to get a lot of carries. And we haven't seen him go over 10 carries once this season, which is shocking to believe with his skill set. And I know there's a lot that he adds in the passing game, and he's gotten more than 10 touches just with receptions and all those good things. But this is a game where you keep it simple for McCarthy, let him hand the football off, and against a really bad Commanders run defense, see what Aaron Jones can do. If he can get to that second level, we know the burst he has to run away from some of these linebackers and defensive backs. I think he has a 10-plus yard carry, and if that's the case, if he gets open field like that, he should be able to get 13 plus like he has in 4 of his last 5. So give me Aaron Jones, longest rush over 12.5 yards, minus 110.
Love it. All right, overtime. I've got 3 plays here again. But wait, Ben, you're doing my work for me. McCarthy, number 9. He's back. I don't think it means much. Look, he had a fourth quarter. I'll just give you the prop first. I'm an idiot. McCarthy to throw a pick, Geno to throw a pick, Bo Nix to throw a pick. Parlayed together plus 423. I mean, McCarthy, he's far and away the NFL's leader in turnover-worthy throws, in interception percentage, in off-target throws. He's completing 54% of his passes. And look, yeah, they want to hand the ball off and stay in this game, but they drafted him in the first round. They've got to develop him. He's going to have to throw the ball. Like, you can't have the tight end and the wide receiver one wanting to choke him out every game because they're getting their ass kicked for nothing. Like, he's going to have to throw some balls to them and let them try to make plays on balls. And when he does it, they're not 50-50 balls. They're 70-30 balls, 70 in favor of the other team. Fourth quarter against Chicago in his first start, he produces 4 touchdowns and no interceptions. Since then, he's produced like 4 touchdowns and 11 turnovers. Look, this is now like minus 225 for him to throw a pick. It might even be more than that. That was 3 or 4 hours ago when I last checked it. I think he's good for a pick against a Washington defense that knows how to play their zones. And I think they kind of are going to know where the ball's going. Geno, I mean, look, Geno's a turnover machine. Geno's thrown 22 picks at home since the start of last season. Geno's offensive line sucks. Geno, against a menacing defense at home, has guaranteed a pick and a half per game since the start of last year. So I'm leaning into that against a Raiders team that gave him fits in the first meeting. That was a 10-7 game. That creates a ton of turnovers. That has 5 legitimate pass rushers, maybe the best corner in the NFL. I mean, how many times are you going to throw it to Bowers today? And then look, Nix. I think Nix, when he faces lesser teams, gets a little too loose. And I think he throws a pick here. He threw a couple the last time he faced these guys. He's thrown a pick in 4 of his last 5 games and 5 of his last 7. He could have thrown several against Washington in prime time the other night. And look, Vegas has nothing to lose. Like, their season's over. Like, they're going to be jumping routes. They're going to be gambling. Pete Carroll's letting them gamble. They're showing zone looks and then trying to goad you into throwing it somewhere so they can make a play on the ball. It's the only way they get stops. Vegas does have a pick in 5 of the last 7 games that they've played. If you just want to do that as a same game parlay, Nix and Geno, like, yeah, I've done that as well. But McCarthy, Geno, and Nix to throw a pick plus 423. Let's stay in that Washington-Vegas game. A little money line play. Commandos to win, Packers to win, Seahawks to win, plus 222. I also have parlayed McCarthy to throw a pick and Washington money line. Daniels does matter. Scary Terry coming back changes the entire energy of that offense. Like, do I think they're going off against still a pretty good Vikings defense? No, but I think they're winning this game. They've lost 7 in a row. They're overdue for a win. And I think, frankly, the Vikings have given up on getting any quality play out of any quarterback this season. I'm with Ben. Green Bay, I think they win that game. I think they stifle Chicago. Chicago has to run the ball to set everything up. Green Bay's an elite run defense. They're going to get Williams in the 2nd and long and 3rd and long. They're going to turn him over a time or two. I think the Bears are about to find out what it's like to be the hunted. And look, I don't love this Seattle-Atlanta game. I think it has the potential to go over because Kirk Cousins is playing for his career and he's going to chuck it around and make some plays. But I also don't think Seattle's losing that football game. McDonald's been the best road coach in the NFL since he took over there. So that parlay plus 222. And then look, we played this game early in the week, and I've been waiting to see if the market's changed, and they haven't. So if you want to just play the straight under in the Tampa Saints game, and you didn't already jump it with us earlier in the week, you should go ahead and do so at around 42, 41.5. But we also played it this morning under 38.5 at plus 147. The Saints are tied with the Texans as the number 1 under team in the NFL. They're under in 9 of 12 games. Their games average 39.75 points. They go under by 3.33 per game. They're under in 14 of their last 20 divisional games. The last 9 times that the Saints and the Bucs have met, 6 of them have gone under. They've averaged 38 points per game. They've gone under by 10 points per game on average. When they met earlier this season, it was 23-3. And guess what? That was with the better quarterback playing for the Saints, Rattler. They're averaging 12 points per game with Shuck. Like, there is no future with him. They're going to draft another quarterback. They'll be content to hand the ball off to whomever and try to keep this close. The Bucs are averaging 5.5 yards per attempt over the last 6 weeks. The offense is broken. The injuries have mounted. Baker's hurt, and they get Irving back. I think they're content with a conservative head coach who just wants to win this game and win with field goals. Like, Bowles will do that on the road here. They've got to win because Carolina's sniffing behind them. And look, the Saints are trying out kickers and just signed a new kicker. They might miss a couple layups that help us here. So under 38.5 in that game, plus 147.
We got a number of plays. We're playing a few things by itself. We're playing a few parlays. We got a lot of stuff here in overtime for you. But again, we're giving you guys plays. It's not a bad thing. We'll start here. Ravens money line, Rams money line, Packers money line. That can get you to plus 115. The Rams coming off of that loss that they had that was ugly, and they really had it in their hands, and they're probably the best team in the NFL. I don't see them falling here. I don't care if it's on the road. I don't care if it's home. The Rams have got to get right here. They're big favorite for a reason, and I don't see them being the team to screw this. The Packers, we've talked about through the show. Jason and I have always really seen eye to eye on the Packers. I just think this Packers team is better than what they showed earlier in the year, and it's more of like a play down to competition. This is not a down to competition game. Like the Bears, I don't think they're as good as people are saying, but there's a lot of hype on them coming into this game. They're leading the division, and this is a crucial game. We saw Green Bay show up in a number of crucial games before. I think it happens here. Jordan Love can beat them with his arm. Josh Jacobs can get it going on the ground here. I don't think that Bears defense is much. It's all about stopping the offense in that run game, and I would expect them to do that with as good as the Packers defense has been. And then the Ravens on the money line to finish it to plus 115. Listen, Ravens have some issues, and they're not a Super Bowl team. They're not very good. The Steelers are absolute trash. And if this is the area that we learn that the Ravens truly aren't even a playoff team with how bad the division is, then that's fine. I'm fine going down that way. But this game's in Baltimore. If it was in Pittsburgh with some of the way that the history is played out and the way that Lamar's played in Pittsburgh, I know he's not playing good football right now. I know that the Bengals game should have been a get-right spot for him. I get all that. But I do think the Steelers' offense sucks so bad, they don't have Joe Burrow able to beat you and wear you out as the game goes on. Aaron Rodgers isn't getting any looser at the end of the game, right? At the beginning of the game, he might give you a little bit of a push, but as the game goes on, we see him get banged up. He'll probably be taken into the injury tent at some point, as he always is. And if he returns, if he doesn't, we'll see how that goes. But I don't think that the Steelers have a shot against the Ravens today. I know that it's a rivalry, and they usually split and all those good things. I think the Ravens handle business today. It's a pretty crucial game, and it's now or never for Lamar Jackson. Like, he's got to figure it out today. So, again, for the listeners, the Ravens on the money line, the Rams on the money line, and the Packers on the money line. That gets us to plus 115. Now, we always do our tight end parlay. We've had some success with it this year. Tyler Warren, 40-plus receiving yards. Brock Bowers, 40-plus receiving yards. And Dalton Kincaid, 25-plus receiving yards, plus 182. We'll start with Warren. We're going to go to him a bunch throughout the show, the next few plays. I gave him out yesterday his regular number when we could get it a little bit lower. He's been pretty quiet for the past 2 weeks, and this Jaguars defense is allowing more receiving yards than all but 3 teams in the NFL in their last 6 games to tight ends. Tyler Warren is a dominant guy. He's going to be on the field for 100% of the snaps. Jones has been confident throwing the football his way, and this should be a tight game where Indianapolis is throwing the ball quarters 1 through 4. They're not going to be running them off the field like they did at some point. I like Tyler Warren to clear 40-plus receiving yards. Brock Bowers, 40-plus. Listen, Geno, I'm not sure where else he's going to be throwing the football. Like, and I heard the rumor that Surtain is going to probably be shadowing Bowers. That's fine. You can do all that. Bowers is still going to get his looks and still get the football. 40-plus, I mean, Surtain is probably the best corner in the NFL. I get that. But at some point, Bowers will get loose. He's good at breaking tackles. He's been shadowed before in the NFL, in college, all of those good things. I think Bowers shows up 40-plus. We're bringing his number way down. And the new coordinator in Olsen likes to get his tight ends and running backs involved. Against Denver, I don't know that you're getting the running back involved much. The tight end has to be a factor. They'll get him some screens. They'll try to let him make some plays. And then Dalton Kincaid, 25-plus to round us out to plus 182. As this show has gone on, they have ruled that Dalton Kincaid's going to play. Makes me feel good. I don't think it's going to be at a 50% snap count and they're going to try to keep him off the football field. If you play with Cincinnati, they will beat you. That defense sucks. You have to attack them where they're weakest, and that is in the run game, and that's also here with tight ends. I think Kincaid has a big day. Josh Allen really likes throwing him the football. He wanted them to draft him in the first round when they did. They did it, and it's been great when he's been on the field, but the issue is injuries, and now he's supposed to be healthy. Could he leave this game early and screw us? Maybe, but I think he gets 25 because even in 2 games earlier this year that he left early, he still cleared 25. Yeah. So again, for the listeners, Warren 40 plus, Bowers 40 plus, Dalton Kincaid 25 plus 182. Now, a play here. We'll get back to Tyler Warren in a second. Will Anderson to record a sack at minus 105. I like getting plus money on sack props. I'll be completely honest with you. The Chiefs' tackle situation is horrifying. I still think they're going to be trying to throw the football because Houston will take your run game away from the start, and it'll last through the full length of the game. I think Will Anderson gets to the quarterback a bunch. I mean, he had it in a sack in 5 of his last 6, and before last game had 1 in 5 straight. Kansas City should be throwing the football. Sometimes we see Mahomes drift a little bit and not take off soon enough and try to extend a deep play down the field. And ultimately, Will Anderson is one of the most ferocious, fastest edge rushers we'll see. Danielle Hunter was another guy that I was considering. Both of these guys have combined for 21 and a half sacks. They're both right around each other. I think Hunter has 10 and a half. Will Anderson has 11. I think Anderson gets to the quarterback today, though, minus 105. RJ Harvey over 52 and a half rushing yards at minus 110. Didn't think we would go back to him. I really didn't.
You can't quit him.
Can't. I cannot. And you could give me a yellow card either here or the next time I do it.
I'm in no position to do anything other than card myself. So you have to get Sharky. You reach out to Sharky and let him come in here. He'll discipline anybody anytime. But 100%. I got no ground to stand on. That's a new tenet. No, anybody who's not at least even can't red, card. Nothing.
Okay. Can't save them.
I'm not even allowed to touch the cards. I don't even know. Oh, there they are. Yeah, I'm not even allowed to touch them.
Yeah. All right. Well, you're going to be back in the green very soon. I'm confident in it. So you'll be carding me again soon. Well, hopefully not, because hopefully we're having success on my end to where I don't have to stop betting again.
Eating lobsters together.
Yeah. RJ Harvey against the Raiders. The Raiders' run defense is pathetic. They're bottom 5 in EPA against the run. They're also bottom 5 in defensive success rate against the run. This is not a good run defense. I think Denver, as much as they've struggled against bad teams and slowly pulled it out at the end of the game, this is one I just like. It has blowout written all over it. Now, could they keep it close and he still go over this? Absolutely. The Raiders are pathetic. Gino's willing to turn the ball over, as Jason just mentioned. And if that's the case, I know I said it last week with trying to get the running back going in a blowout, but the Commanders end up shoving that game to overtime. If RJ Harvey was a little smarter and was hitting the right cuts and doing some different things, McLaughlin wouldn't have been on the field as much. I do think Sean Payton wants to get his rookie going, though. I know I said it last week again, but I think it'll happen this week. 52 and a half could happen with just 2 carries. We're going to play that at minus 110. Our final play, 2 plays. Tyler Warren, 60-plus receiving yards. Chase Brown, which you can get at 40-plus. And then the Packers on the money line, plus 351. I want to make sure that this Tyler Warren 60-plus hasn't changed, because I think I'm going to give that out as an official play by itself. I know we're playing him a bunch of different ways today, but it's just kind of where I like it. Yeah, plus 150. You could still get Tyler Warren 60-plus receiving yards at plus 150. Earlier in the year, when he was as dominant as he was clearing this with ease, and he was going over it a bunch, and we were seeing Jones get the football to him a lot. The injury definitely changes things for the offense, but Tyler Warren's a guy who is a beast to secondaries. Linebackers struggle taking him down. Safeties struggle taking him down, and so do corners. I think it's going to be a healthy dose of Tyler Warren, as a lot of different teams against Jacksonville have tried to attack that position, and they've had success doing it. As I said earlier, they're allowing more receiving yards to tight ends than all but 5 teams in the NFL. Tyler Warren, it's a big number, I get it, but 60-plus has not been an issue for him in a number of games this year. I think they'll be throwing the football quarters 1 through 4, like I said before. Chase Brown, 40-plus. The Bills can be beaten on the ground. And I know Burrow's back, and you're going to have him throwing 35 to 40 times a game. They still will offset that a little bit and let Chase Brown make plays, as they did when Burrow was fully healthy. And now you're telling me that he does have a little bit of a foot injury, and he said didn't bother him a ton, but clearly he's not. I mean, he's still wearing that different shoe, and there's things there that could hold him back a little bit. I think Chase Brown will get going today, and we brought him down to 40-plus. And then the Packers on the money line we throw in, we already broke them down. These 3, again, Tyler Warren, 60-plus, Chase Brown, 40-plus rushing, and the Packers on the money line, plus 351.
Excellent. That's our show. We appreciate you guys, as always, tuning in. If you have comments, concerns, questions, feedback, hit us up. Want to bet with us at gmail.com. I still have not gotten Mark Feinsand's hoodie in the mail yet, but he's at the winter meetings now, so he's not going to get it for a while anyway. But I will do that. We're thinking like 10:15 tomorrow, normal Monday.
Yep.
After Bet Sweats. All right, so around 10:15 tomorrow.
And be sure,
we got champions.
if you're on our YouTube, be sure to look out through this week. We have a few videos coming out talking about coaches on the hot seat, talking about Lane Kiffin. That was created
spicy content.
I like that. Some good content coming on our YouTube through this week.
Yeah, spicy. Check us out. We appreciate it. We'll be back tomorrow. College basketball. It's kind of a light slate this week. I've studied the entire slate. It's kind of like the calm before the storm.
Yep.
School's going into exams,
holiday,
winter break. Everybody played a ton of games, feast week. So, but there's still some stuff we like. NBA, a light week in the NBA as well. Maybe we'll get into some NHL. I know I'll be all over Champions League. And before you know it, there'll be a Thursday night football game again. And we've got Monday night football tomorrow. So we'll be on all those markets. We appreciate you guys tuning in. Ben, let them know how crappy I'm doing. Scheisse, Ashlock. There we go. That's me. Beltway Ben is continually cashing for you guys. And we appreciate all of your support. Hope everybody has a great NFL Sunday. You want to bet? We want to bet. Thank you for betting with us.